This is Tread from Tread on Sports with a special episode today where we're going to be watching Coach Davie's press conference where he talks about National Letter of Intent signing day for the football team. One of the big differences between football and basketball is that football allows early enrollment where players who are freshmen can join the school in the spring semester, get a semester under their belt, participate in spring practice, and then be ready to play in the fall. Basketball, you can't do that. It's almost a waste of the semester at the end if the kids don't come back to school. This year, the Lobos had 9 players enroll for early enrollment, and this is what Coach Davie had to say about them.
You know, I think you do these recruiting classes in not 1 year, but 2 years, and I think the uniqueness of us having been able to redshirt 19 varsity scholarship players last year. We were able to redshirt 19 scholarship players from our recruiting class from a year ago, which is unbelievable for us, and some really good players. That's how this class kind of fits in. It is a bit of a transition year to a degree because you look at Dakota Cox and you look at Billy Uday and Terrion Gibson and Donnie White. A lot of those guys, Nick DeVonzo, came in here and didn't redshirt and played 4 straight years. So being able to redshirt 19 scholarship players last year certainly kind of guided this class. We put a lot of work into getting 9 mid-year transfers in here. I've never been around any recruiting class where we've been able to put 9 mid-year players in who are already enrolled in school. And that takes a tremendous amount of work when you think about your coaching late into the season, you're coaching a bowl game, and then you've got these players that turn around and you're trying to get them, number 1, committed, number 2, signed, and then number 3, enrolled in school. So a tremendous job by our coaching staff. It's been a lot of work. Definitely, we have some momentum. I think we've won 7 of our last 8 games now, which when you stop and think about that, 7 of our last 8. We're 12-5 in our last 17 Mountain West Conference games, which ties us with Boise State and Air Force at 12-5 in our division. We had the second highest GPA in school history in the fall, 2.69. The record is 2.70, which is really a shame that we didn't get that. We had tied for the all-time record, I guess, in school history at 9-4. So we certainly have a lot of momentum. We certainly have a lot of positives. And, I'm really proud of our coaching staff. I think the continuity that we've had on this staff really is pretty incredible. And definitely kind of being seamless through recruiting definitely helped. With any of these situations, getting players on campus, and then it's your players that get these kids signed. You can do all you can as a coach. You can show them all the things that you kind of set up to show them. You can go in the home and you visit, but when they visit, when they really are exposed to the culture of the program. And you look at the retention rate we've had of players and the kind of job our players do recruiting, you can see that the culture is really good. So this class is pretty heavy on junior college transfers. Several of them have 3 years. As I mentioned, 9 are here already enrolled. 1, of course, is a high school player, Marcus Williams. The other one of the 9 is Colton Gerhardt, who we tried to recruit out of high school, went to Arizona State. He has 2 years of eligibility left. He's currently enrolled. So I think maybe the easiest thing to do is kind of just go through here, and I'll give you kind of a thumbnail little sketch, and I'll try to be as accurate as I can of who recruited them down the stretch, who we had to beat to get them signed, because a lot of times, that's where the fans and the people of the program want to hear. That's the thing everybody wants to know, and I'll try to be as accurate as I can. I think one thing to keep in mind with all of this, last week I did a thing, it was Championship Sunday in the NFL. Really the semifinals, right, where the 4 teams played, Atlanta, Green Bay, New England, Pittsburgh. And I went back and did a thing on star systems of where these players, these 88 starters starting in these 2 games, where they were ranked coming out of high school. and close to 80% of the players that started last Sunday, 2 Sundays ago, close to 80% were either 3-star, 2-star, or not even rated at all. There were only 4 players that started last Saturday and Sunday, I guess, out of 88 that were 5-star players, only 4. Pittsburgh Steelers didn't have a 5-star player. A couple others had 1 5-star. So you take it all with a grain of salt. And probably after we sign these guys, you can take all these rankings and tear them up. That's the reality of this. But I'll try to be as honest as I can. Willie Hobdey's a big, tall corner out of Dallas, out of Coffeyville. I think it really came down to us and UNLV in the end. He did visit Southern Miss the last weekend. You can see there he had Texas State, Western Kentucky, but I really think it came down to us and UNLV. He is here now. These first 9 players are already enrolled, have already been obviously going to class and in the workout program. But, you know, Willie Hobdey is that taller corner that we know we have tried to upgrade a little bit size-wise. D'Angelo Ross is actually the opposite. You know, it really was us in Arkansas State. We've loved this kid. You know, we've watched him for 2 years. Chris Crooks, our video, who is in charge of our video, his brother has been the defensive coordinator at the junior college, Fullerton, and every coach on that staff will get up on the table for D'Angelo Ross. Very quick, very strong. Actually, it was us in Arkansas State. Michael Sewell is a safety from LA Valley, 6'1", 197. Really had committed to us before the bowl game. Cal Berkeley came in, offered him. We had to hold off Cal Berkeley, and I was very proud that he had some other things. He visited Fresno State, South Alabama, Arkansas State, North Texas, but it was really Cal. So we were able to beat a Power 5 school outright on Michael Sewell. Jermaine Conyers, big nose guard out of Dodge City, from the Chattanooga area, out of high school, signed with Indiana, the Big Ten, out of high school. We haven't had this body type here. He right now is 348 pounds, all of 6'3". Really, really excited about Jermaine, just because we have not had that. You guys have watched us. We need some bulk in the middle, and he definitely has that. It really came down in the end to us in Toledo. He had visited Northern Illinois, Bowling Green, Southern Miss, but really in the end it was us in Toledo battling it out. Jordan Flack, he's not 6'5", he's probably 6'3". 6'3", 220 pounds. I apologize about that. That's wrong there. And he's a linebacker, not a defensive lineman. Okay, so that's a mistake that shouldn't have happened on this. He's a linebacker, probably 6'3", 220. He had Colorado State, Hawaii, San Jose State, Ohio, and Bowling Green. Can run. You know, we like him also as a pass rusher. Sammy Bernard. Sammy is an interesting guy. One of the 2 players that we signed out of Northeast Oklahoma. Sammy had visited Utah State, had committed to Utah State. Comes back, we get him back from that commitment. He's coming to UNM. 2 nights before the signing date, Baylor comes in and offers him. We went back and forth a little bit, but we were able to get him signed. So we actually beat Baylor, another Power 5 school. This kid is really strong, really physical. I'm excited about him. Marcus Williams. It's amazing. You know, we signed Marcus last year, and Marcus was a basketball player, football player out of Cleveland, and we gray shirted him. In other words, he didn't enroll. He waited, enrolled in January, which gives him 5 years to play for, but also an additional spring ball and off-season practice. Unbelievable how he's changed his body and what he looks like right now. You know, we're starting him out at tight end. Really excited about him. Really excited about Marcus Williams. The last one, or excuse me, the next to the last of the enrolled, Colton Gerhart, I'm sure you know that family name. One brother played at Stanford, played in the NFL. The other brother played at ASU, played center, played in the NFL. Colton had an Oklahoma, Nebraska, and Wisconsin offer out of high school. He went to Arizona State, went in there as a quarterback. They moved him to safety right away. Then they moved him to running back, played on some special teams, graduated in 3 years from Arizona State, has 2 years of eligibility. He is 215 pounds. He was recruited. We were in some battles with him to get him to come enroll. Couldn't be more excited about Colton Gerhardt. Really a good football player. Will start out at running back for us, but there's multiple things I think we can do with him and get him involved in our offense. Really kind of fits us. Lon Hampton is a deep snapper, really a unique personality, a great kid. He was ULM Kansas and New Mexico State offer, also from Northeast Oklahoma. His brother snapped at University of Oklahoma, was Oklahoma's deep snapper. His college coach deep snapped at Oklahoma State. So he's a guy that's kind of lived this.
Those are the 9 players you might see around campus or around town this semester. And when we come back to this special episode of Tread on Sports, we'll hear what Coach Davie has to say about the 12 other players who will be coming to campus this summer.